Shalom. First thing and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim Kakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Peace and blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. News in the gospel abroad, lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is another lesson through the Spirit. Brothers have went to this already, so I'm just giving my take on it because, we've spoke on these things. The apostles have been speaking on these ordeals, and now, we're seeing the fruition of this prophecy come to pass, which is Revelation 13 and 16, which it says winning the 6G race, as we're currently on the 5G. But it says this is a memorandum for the Secretary of State, the Secretary of War, the Secretary of Commerce, Secretary of Transportation, Secretary of Energy, Homeland Security, etc., etc. And the subject is winning the 6G race, which currently, dealing with these AI infrastructures and this particular Palantir technology when it deals with being able to track and scan people as they move around their daily endeavors. This is all part of that beast system, okay, that you other Israelites out there are not speaking on. But it says, by the authority vested in me as president by the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America, I hereby direct, which this is totally unconstitutional. But it says the next generation of mobile communications network, 6G, will be foundational to the national security, foreign policy, and economic prosperity of the United States. It says this technology will play a pivotal role in the development of adoption of emerging technologies like artificial intelligence, robotics, and implantable technologies, okay? So when they say implantable technologies, that's a red flag because you got to ask yourself, what are they talking about? So if you look up implantable technologies, look at this. Hold on. Microchip.com. Safe and reliable implantable medical solutions. Okay, but it says here, microchip.com, which all deals with putting something under the skin, even neurostimulators, which goes into the brain, But anyway, going back here. Oh no, that's lucky, wrong one. But anyway, it says 6G will also move faster, more resilient, and more secure communication networks that can be utilized for national security and public safety purposes. It says, for it is the policy of the United States to lead the world in 6G development. Certain steps are necessary to achieve the goals of this policy, including steadfastly advancing American interests in the international standards bodies that will play a crucial role in 6G development, and identifying a significant volume of radio frequency spectrum that could be harmonized for 6G networks internationally. And 6G is going to be a whole different step up from 5G, because you got certain places on Earth that don't even get 5G, but 6G, because you have what they call microburst between towers that emits this signal, which 5G, really faster than 4G. But it's more deadly to the body because it's basically radiation, right? But it says 6Gs internationally. So this chip is going to run off 6G. And I remember the elder was going into it as well, that going into that number 6, which is the number of a man, But it says, my administration has been studying multiple spectral bands this year to determine what federal spectrum can be reallocated to commercial use for 6G development without undermining national security missions that occur in those bands. It reads, consistent with the preliminary conclusions of those evaluations, I am hereby directing the following actions to ensure America's leadership in 6G development. So it means that they want to get the fast track on it, but you got countries like China, Japan that's already been experimenting with this technology, and they've already, led the race, so to speak. But this is going to be interesting because we've been speaking that the RFID chip would be tied into these particular networks, man, and everything is going to function off that chip, which is being the brain processor behind this whole new AI world, okay, which is Esau's left-handed version of his tainted version of the kingdom of heaven, which is just him establishing his birthright that he's gave up. But it reads, the Assistant Secretary for Commerce for Communications and Information shall, in consultation with the Assistant to the President for Economic Policy and the Assistant to the President for Science and Technology, but immediately commence studies in consultation with federal incumbents with operations between 7.125 and 7.4 gigahertz spectrum frequencies to determine how to relocate their affected systems to other frequencies, man. All right. And B, it says no later than 12 months from the date of this memorandum, the Assistant Secretary should submit to the President, through the Assistant of the President for Economic Policy, the Assistant to the President for Science and Technology, and the Assistant to the President for National Security Affairs, results on the studies required under subsection A, including estimated transition costs as timelines is determined by the Assistant Secretary. It says this submission by the Assistant Secretary shall also demonstrate how such relocation of systems would not materially impair the national security missions or electric grid operations that occur in these gigabands identified as the War and Directive National Intelligence. So they basically trying to figure out how to implement this new technology without ultimately overloading the grid, because you got complaints now that 5G is not 5G, but this whole AI shit and the building of data centers is essentially affecting the grid, causing power outages and causing high bills, which that's all a damn lie. Okay, Esau just capitalizing off people's misery. But nonetheless, this is a step towards the microchip, and Yahweh Shemel Shah is going to prove that his servants had it right the whole time. All right, so peep this. I looked this up. What is 6G technology? And it goes into pretty much the same thing. But it says 6G is the proposed sixth generation of wireless mobile communication technology designed to succeed 5G. Now, remember, men like Elon Musk, and you had Gates, you got this dude, Alex Karp, you got Peter Thiel, you got Yuval Harari, men that specifying that this technology would be planted in you by 2030. They want to do away with the concept of a smartphone. But instead, they want you to have the technology in you, which Richie from Boston called it under the skin surveillance. Okay? It says here, it aims to deliver unprecedented speeds at ultra low latency, massive connectivity, and new capabilities like integrating sensing and native AI support, meaning Minority Report. Okay, there's a movie called Minority Report, and it's back on Netflix. And it goes into predictive AI of people committing crimes before they commit them based on certain behaviors and thought patterns. So essentially, he wants to play the Most High. So a lot of people are going to be locked up for shit they didn't even do. But it reads, as of 2025, 6G remains in research and early standardization phase with no commercial deployments yet, which I believe that's a lie. I believe they have it up and running. It's just a matter of testing it, because essentially that's just going to cook people. But global efforts are coordinated by organizations like 3GPP, which is the third generation partnership project, and the International Telecommunications Union under the IMT 2030 framework. It says commercial rollout is widely expected around 2030. So that goes to that 2030 plan, But anyway, see, they're not really talking about under the skin surveillance. But peep this. It says AI integration networks where artificial intelligence optimizes performance, resource allocation, and self-healing autonomously. Ooh, self-healing, see? Basically, you're going to become part of the technology, man. Because once again, they say 6 is the number of man, beast, right? In this system, this is the beast system. Then it goes into ubiquitous connectivity with seamless integration of terrestrial, satellite, non-terrestrial networks, or aerial for global coverage. So this is going to be one big, it's going to be one big fucking data center, man. When they're able to get your information and they're able to spy on you and spot you out of a lineup if need be. They're trying to have this up and running by 2030? But who knows? It could roll out as little as next year, just depending on the Spirit of the Lord, man. All right? So this is the book of Revelation 13, and I'm going to start at verses 15. It says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as will not worship the image of the beast shall be killed. Right? And that's the system. Okay? Going into this wicked system. You know, because the image of the beast is everything around you, from how the 6G work, from how the AI, all this other shit that they're implementing in today's world. You know, you got the Amazon Go's, you got the Amazon Smarts, all this other stuff is all part of this new system. Okay, because they're getting ready to do away with this system, and they're getting ready to bring about a system that's going to require a microchip in order for you to interact or integrate in society, man. All right, and you got Israelites out there saying that ain't the case. Well, explain what we're reading then, if that's not the mark of the beast. All right, and you Jakes, you're going to find out the hard way, man. And he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hands or in their foreheads. And that mark is the chip. Okay, we've broken this down 20 times already. 20,000 times. This is here, man. All right, the Lord said it won't tarry. So 2026, we can start seeing more of these systems roll out. Okay, we can start seeing the doing away with cash in some cases. You know, and things are going to be more on a digital spectrum than how they were done traditionally. Okay? And it reads, it says that no man might buy or sell save he had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. It says, here's wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 606, going into the man, beast, or sex, right? But this is the plan, the New World Order. All right, and they want to microchip every man, woman, and child. You know, and that's when Yahweh Shai is going to step in. Okay, connectivity, massive, ubiquitous, ground, air, satellite, extreme density, new capabilities, edging, computing support. Yeah, this is gonna, boy, the law enforcement gonna use the hell out of this. Let me see something here. 6G technology and under skin implants. See what it says. Yeah, see, one thing about I notice when I'm using ChatGPT, I don't ever get the accurate, like I don't ever, like brothers can pull this up and it'll say it, but when I type it in, no, there's no currently 6G involving underskin subcutaneous implant, what is it called? Subcutaneous implants. But it's not true though, because it says here, in while it envision advanced applications like brain-computer interfaces and high bandwidth neural links, these are focused on brain implants for medical restoration of sight, movement, or communication. See, there you go. So they just told on themselves, man, because we know that they're going to use the chip in people's health ordeals against them, man. Real development is implant tech, biohacking communities, implantable antennas, 6G new brain implants. Future 6G could support advanced BCIs, Neuralink, DARPA projects, massive bandwidth, brain focus, ultra thin wireless, but implanted under the cortex, not under the skin. Same fucking thing, bro. It's on the White House. It's on the whitehouse.gov. We just read it. So, and they admitted in the article anyway. All right, but anyway, let's go here. And I'm going to go a little bit more into this later on too. I wanted to get more thorough in it. But let's go to the book of Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter. And I'm going to start at verses 3. And it says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, meaning at a specified time. But at the end it shall speak and not lie, though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It would not tarry, so it's not tarrying. Okay, we're seeing this technology roll out, and we're going to see that majority of you people, you're going to accept it because you're not rooted. You know? But it says, wait for it, it would not tarry, it will surely come. So to Zariak, Zabak, all you other gurus out there that call yourselves prophets, you all going to be confounded in that day. All right, because your congregation, they're going to ask you these questions. They're going to ask you, wait a minute, so if this is not the mark of the beast, then what is it? And if you encourage them to get that chip, then you know what? This is what Ezekiel, the 33rd chapter say. Because a lot of you dudes, man, you really in this to serve your own belly, and you don't care about the flock. But Ezekiel 33, and I'm going to start at verses 2. It says, Son of man, speak to the children of thy people, and say unto them, when I bring a sword upon the land, and if the people of the land take a man of their coast and set him for their watchman, It says, if he see the sword coming upon the land, he blow the trumpet and warn the people. That's what we do here. We're warning our people that this is getting ready to be the new world. Things are getting ready to phase out, and this new system is getting ready to emerge. They already got the platform for it. It's just a matter of coming up with the right crisis to do their bidding. And it says, then whosoever hear the sound of the trumpet and take it not warning, if the sword come and take him away, his blood should be upon his own head. But he that hear the sound of the trumpet and took not warning, his blood should be upon him. But he that taketh warning should deliver his soul. But if the watchman see the sword come and blow not the trumpet, and you do see this, man, but you ain't telling nobody, and take any person from among them, he is taken away in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at the watchman's hand. So a lot of you are in grave shit with your how about you, man, and this is gonna tell it. All right, because Jake is playing, man. No way in hell that Jake don't see this, bro. All right, we see it clear as day, and this is why the Heavenly Father is not gonna deliver you from this day. Okay, Revelation 3, and I'm gonna start at 10. It says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which should come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. And behold, I come quickly, and hold fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown. So, hey, you can't succumb to this. Now, we're not saying that 6G is the mark of the beast. No, we're not saying that. But these systems that they're rolling out, the technology is going to be compatible for this mass chipping that they want to do, which is going to integrate into these AI Palantir / Stargate systems, man. And this is what we're telling the people. This is why they spend $500 billion on Stargate, bro. All this already covered, man. You know. But anyway, Ezekiel 33 and 33, it says, and when this come to pass, lo, it will come, then they should know that a prophet had been among them. So I'm going to end it. All praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Bashim Hawashai. Lord's will, you will edify to the next lesson.